Welcome to Reddit After Hours. This is r/Trueoffmychest, where someone helps a dear friend feel loved at the very end of their life, and a mom hates her life so much that she gives up her child. Our first Reddit post comes from Relevant Golf 7886, titled, "Everyone Stopped Showing Up. I brought them back before he died." I wasn't about to let my friend die thinking that no one gave a crap. Late last year, my friend was dying in hospice. He was only 34. Primarily, progressive MS had kicked his butt for years, and then pneumonia finally got him. By then, most of his friends had disappeared. People stop showing up when you're sick for too long, and that's just the brutal truth. But I wasn't gonna let him die thinking that he didn't matter. So I called every single friend he had, even the ones who hadn't seen him in over a year. I didn't coddle them. I told them straight up, get off your butt and go see him now. And they did. One by one, they showed up. His mom told me later that when his old friends started walking into that hospice room, Alex smiled, like really smiled, for the first time in a long time. The friends I called kept trickling in until he passed away 2 days later. At his celebration of life in front of 250 people, they stopped everything to thank me publicly. I completely broke down. I didn't expect or even want the attention. I just didn't want him to leave this world feeling forgotten. He and I went way back. Schoolyard fights, stupid teenage jobs, big dreams. He introduced me to the woman who became my wife. My kids literally exist because he linked us up. We drifted a bit over the years, but after his diagnosis, we locked back in, and I stayed. I wrote and delivered his eulogy. It tore me apart, but someone had to tell the room who he really was. Not just a guy who got sick and died, but a badass who cracked jokes right to the very end. A guy who had dreams he never got to chase, but still left a permanent mark on everyone around him. I'm not posting this for pity or praise. I just needed to put it somewhere because I still think about that smile, and I still think about how close he came to dying alone and how freaking glad I am that he didn't. Here's a piece of what I said in his eulogy. When I think back to that schoolyard fight and him telling me, "You can't move a mountain," I realize how right he was, in ways I couldn't have understood back then. He faced mountains of his own, mountains of pain, loss, and struggle, and while he couldn't always move them, he stood firm. He faced each challenge with strength and determination that proved he didn't need to move the mountain, he just needed to show it that it couldn't move him. OP, I'm sorry for your loss. You sound like an amazing friend, and he was lucky to have you, and it sounds like you were lucky to have him too. Our next Reddit post comes from Victim6, titled, "I'm giving full custody to my husband. I'm done. My husband won't stop cheating on me. Recently, I found out the cheating went all the way back to when he got me pregnant, and he stopped cheating for a while, and then he recently started having online affairs. He's now paying for women's OnlyFans. He forgot my birthday last week, and I saw that instead he was tipping women on OnlyFans instead of buying me a gift or anything. We have a 3-year-old that I didn't really want in the first place, but I got pressured by my husband and my family to have kids because it's my job as a woman to be a baby maker and a housemaid. It's insane that men want children so badly but hardly contribute anything other than another paycheck. They do freaking nothing yet want a huge family. How can you beg for a child so much and hardly change a single diaper since birth? Hardly contribute to the household at all? Never pick up an extra baby shift? Only ever help out and babysit when yelled at and nagged a million times? Come straight home from work to have a beer and relax, but when I come home from work and I want to relax too, but I can't because I'm expected to be the default parent, personal chef, and housekeeper. All they want to do is screw and do nothing all day while women do everything for men. I hate being a mom. I hate being a wife. I hate this life that everyone pressured me into thinking I would find joyful. I hate spending time with children. I'm tired of the screaming and tantrums. I hate participating in children and mom events. I hate being around other moms and kids. I enjoy nothing about being a mother. I feel like I've wasted 3.5 years of my life on being a mother. The only sense of relief I get is when I drop him off at daycare. I get a feeling of sadness when I have to pick him up from daycare. I know it's not fair to my child, who is only one innocent in all of this. I was pressured by society, my husband, and my own family to have this baby, and how I will love this life after I have this baby and just do it and give it time. They said that it would be different when you have your own child. It just didn't work out that way. And oh, I wish it did. It feels awful feeling like this. And yes, I'm already in therapy. I've been in therapy for 7 years. And yes, I'm also in therapy for my issues on motherhood and marriage counseling. Our marriage counseling has been trying to make our marriage work, but it's not working, and I'm leaving them both. I'm waiving my parental rights and giving full custody to my husband. I know once he has to do everything by himself, he will do a better job of raising him than I would. My husband basically raised his brother practically himself at one point. He's just been pampered all his life by his mother, so he thinks it's okay and just normal for a woman to be raising kids, working full time, and taking care of the house inside and out. Women are only useful for raising kids, screwing, cooking, and cleaning. I don't care what anyone says. Men do this exact thing all the time, and no one bats an eye since it's normalized, and you just hardly will ever see the same situation reversed in genders. I don't want advice, once again, just a safe place to get this off my chest and vent anonymously so no one in real life knows my plans yet. I'm trying to keep things low-key as I just started seeing an attorney. OP, your husband sounds like a piece of garbage for doing that to you, and I'm sorry that you hate your life so much. I hope, through therapy and trying to work it out, you can find some sort of peace. The person I feel the most bad for, though, in this whole story is the kid. Because now the kid has to grow up wondering why he was never enough for mom to love him, which I know, it's not his fault. And I'm sure you also know that it's not his fault and would tell him that it's not his fault. It's just you as a person. It's nothing he did or nothing wrong with him. But still, as a kid, that's just gotta feel awful. On a much lighter note, our next post comes from Delicious Ad 2546, titled, "To the Mean Truck Driver Who Stopped to Help Me a Decade Ago. I was 17, exhausted from a long shift and stranded late at night with a flat tire. You pulled over, took one look, and stated the obvious like it was the gospel. Flat tire, you said? Not a question. But you've got no clue how to change it. Also, not a question. You probably don't even know where your spare is. I answered every one of your blunt observations with a polite, no, sir. And you wasted no time tearing into the idea that any father would send his daughter out driving without teaching her how to handle a tire change. Back then, I thought you were rude, harsh, and unnecessarily tough, as you made me do most of the work under your supervision. But I followed every instruction, and I memorized every step. And today, 10 years later, when I found myself in the same situation, I knew exactly what to do. So, to the man who seemed more drill sergeant than Good Samaritan, thank you. You didn't just help me that night, you taught me something that stuck. I didn't appreciate it enough then, but I truly do now." Our next Reddit post comes from Sean Emery09, titled, "I took my wife out for a motorcycle ride to lunch. We ended up somewhere I wish we hadn't. It was a perfect weekend, so naturally, my wife and I did a bit of riding. We like riding two up and finding barbecue joints and little pubs along the way. I don't typically go to the hole-in-the-wall, way out places, and today was no exception. I am black and my wife is white. I chose a pub and grill that wasn't too far from home and wasn't too out in the, quote, backwoods. The bartender and server were super nice. The few people there didn't bother us. The food was okay. When I went to the bathroom before I left, I saw the writing on the walls. Literally, swastikas everywhere, the N word with the hard R on the walls. These were not new etches in the wall. Keeping these things up on the walls is saying something. I hated that I gave that place my money. I didn't tell my wife when we were leaving. The couple getting out of their truck as we were gearing up outside wouldn't acknowledge me at all. I don't know what prompted me to wave and smile, but their coldness made me feel even dumber. I wish I never went there. I snapped a quick photo above the urinal, but I don't know how to post it here. OP, you're a better man than me, because if I were you, I would have found their business on every single platform, Yelp, Google, whatever, and wrote a review about exactly what I saw and attached photos to all of those reviews for everyone to see. But either way, OP, I'm sorry you experienced that. That has no place in society, and I'm sorry you got to deal with that, OP. That was Reddit After Hours, bringing you r/TrueOffMychest. Thank you all so much for listening, and if you like these stories, like and subscribe as we post a new Reddit video almost every single day.